Street Kingpin Hustlers. Digital website, you want t-shirts and hoodies? I thought you might. Forget them all, I have it all here. I got all kind of colors to match your gear. Cream tint, about to get that bread. Get rich or die trying, like 50 said. The money bag make it look real fly. Get it at the website, we on Shopify. We even got a game, a hustler's dream. When you go around the board, you collect your cream. This cash money got me stunting like baby. You can play against your boys or against your lady. Hip Hop Hustlers is the name of the novel. Street Kingpin, Thug Life, Hip Hop Bible. Street Kingpin is here, and we ain't leaving. No need to waste your time even competing. StreetKingpinHustlers.com. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coming soon, novels and games. Street Kingpin, we about that money bag. Get it, get it, get it. Welcome to Street Kingpin Stories. This show is about Street Queenpin, TONIA, Miss T, Taylor. It's time to show the Queenpin some love. They was getting to the bag just like the Kingpins was. TONIA Taylor was born in Harlem, New York. She lived on 133rd and 7th Avenue in a two-parent home with her two sisters. Her mother worked at hospitals and nursing homes. Her father was Jamaican who had a chicken farm in Kingston, Jamaica. He was a big distributor to hotels and restaurants. He also was a music producer. TONIA, at the age of 15, got curious about the streets, and with her parents at work a lot, she could do whatever she wanted to do. Harlem was known for hustlers. She would see all the gangsters like Nicky Barnes, Pee Wee Kirkland, Frank Lucas, Guy Fisher, Rich Porter, and Alpo, to name a few. They had all the money, power, and respect. She wanted to get to the bag too. TONIA's cousin Al was already in the game, so she would just watch him. He was selling PCP, aka angel dust. The PCP was poured over a nickel bag of weed. She would carry it in a Louis Vuitton duffel bag, and she called it dynamite. She jumped off the porch and hit the block where all the hustlers was. She was making hundreds in no time. Al was teaching her the game. But later, Al was murdered in the streets. She was mad, but it wasn't going to stop her from getting paid. She knew this was part of the game. When she was 17, that's when the crack came in. She knew crack would make her filthy rich. She hooked up with Al's brother, Mike. At first, Mike had her just picking up money and dropping it off. He was showing her how to be a hustler. She was building her reputation and associates. TONIA and Mike made about $30,000 to $40,000 a week, and Miss T was getting $5,000 a week. She quickly became accustomed to the finer things in life. She would go to clubs where Biggie, Puffy, and Mary J. Blige would be. She graduated high school, and now she can hustle full time. Then she met well-established street kingpin Richard Fritz Simmons on West 12th Street and Nichols Avenue. This is where drug kingpins from all over NYC would come get their work from Fritz, and his plug was Colombian queenpin Griselda Blanco, and she was supplied by Pablo Escobar. They called Fritz the consignment king. For those who don't know what consignment is, that's when the drug dealer gives you the work and you pay him back however much he says for the amount that he gives you. And Fritz introduces Miss T to Adrian A. Small. He was instantly attracted to her. He liked the way she carried herself, like an around-the-way gangster girl. Ace would send her roses, and over time, it developed into a relationship. Ace had apartments all over New York. He even had an Eagle in one of them. They had a 325 BMW, an Acura Legend, a customized van, and a 24-hour driver. By 1990, Miss T knew how Ace's whole organization worked. They got married and soon she was pregnant. Everything was all Gucci until February 1991. Ace got bagged for a murder of a cab driver 3 years prior. While he was locked up, he couldn't collect the millions of dollars in cocaine that he had on the streets. Ace had lieutenants he trusted, but he trusted Miss T more, so she had to step up. Ace told her all the information, the names, who owed money, where they was from. She would supply Ace's crew, and Fritz gave her 2 kilos to keep things running. And because she was a pregnant woman, she was 10 times tougher than the men. Miss T was fearless and confident. Soon, she was CEO of Ace's organization. She moved crack cocaine all over New York City with some of the biggest street kingpins in the game. She was the queenpin of the crack game in Harlem. Fritz supplied Miss T with 25 keys at a time that would make about $600,000. Miss T was living a glamorous life. She had the money, cars, jewelry, and furs. She had so many mink furs, she could wear a different coat for 2 months. She had all the expensive pocketbooks and shoes. She was 21 years old at the top of a multi-million-dollar cocaine empire. You already know, when you at the top, everyone wants your spot. Even number 500 want to be number one. Miss T put her money in a safe at her parents' house. But one day, someone knocked at the door and she heard a female voice, so she thought it was her sister. When she opened the door, 3 masked men threw her on the floor and put guns to her head and told her to open up the safe. The money wasn't worth her life, so she opened it. They took all the money and jewelry, even took the diamond ring off her finger. They tied her up and left. Miss T understood this is part of the game. All she was thinking about was getting back what she lost. Then, August 1991, Richard Fritz Simmons died of AIDS. Miss T gave birth 2 days later. The plug wasn't passed to Miss T. They gave it to Joe, Fritz's second in command. Joe knew that Fritz was supplying Miss T. He wasn't trying to fuck with her like that, so he sent somebody to tell her she's cut off completely. It was nothing she could do about it. She didn't have any phone numbers. She had no access, no way to even contact them. She only dealt with Fritz directly. Then, in 1992, Ace gets convicted for the murder charges and gets sentenced to 20 years to life. She felt like she slid down a razor blade and landed in the alcohol river. Miss T has a daughter to raise without the father being there. She needed to get to the bag for real. Her godmother introduced her to a street kingpin named Jay Black. Jay told him he had respect for her, and he's heard about her from the streets. He said, "I got you. You don't have to worry about nothing." But before Jay could give her the work, he got killed. Miss T was ready to divorce the gang, get a job, and raise her daughter. For 2 years, she stayed out of the gang. She was still affiliated with some people in the gang. Miss T's friend from kindergarten got shot, and she was caught in the crossfire. Miss T and her friend was rushed to Harlem Hospital Center. She was shot in the back, and it went through her chest while piercing her lung. She survived, but her friend unfortunately didn't. After that, Miss T vowed to stay off the streets. Well, for 5 years she did. Then a family friend she's known since 1987 named Jermaine was in the game selling heroin. See, after the crack died down in 1999, Jermaine's name was ringing in the streets. This made Miss T want to get back in the game. Miss T started introducing Jermaine to all the biggest hustlers in New York. She made $15,000 just for the introduction. Jermaine became the king, and she was the queen again. But Jermaine, he had a lot of haters and enemies. Miss T thought someone might get to her to hurt him, so she moved to Yonkers, so things cooled off. Jermaine knew he was hot. He got too big. He knew a lot of people would like to see him dead. When Miss T talked to him, he told her he didn't want to do this anymore. Jermaine said, "I don't want to die." June 22, 2000, Jermaine got shot and succumbed to his gunshots and passed away in the hospital. Finally, at that point, she decided enough is enough. Too many have died, and her husband was incarcerated. She's out of the game for good. No going back to it. For Miss T, game over. The cops and dealers knew how tight Jermaine and Miss T was. She felt like her life was in danger, so she moved to Atlanta. TONIA Taylor went to college and got a BA degree. In 2015, she let us into her world, a memoir named Harlem Heroin, My Affair with Harlem Street Life and the Men Who Ruled It. The bestseller gives a riveting account of life in the drug game of Harlem in the 80s and 90s era. TONIA Taylor started Royalty Publishing. She's dedicated to creating a pathway for up-and-coming authors to build and publish their work. She gives back by helping to find housing for homeless veterans. She also visits juvenile detentions and youth centers to inform and discourage people from getting in the drug game. She's a successful real estate realtor. She has a trucking company. In 2018, she did consulting work on the hit TV show Godfather of Harlem, starring Forrest Whitaker. In 2019, she premiered her documentary. She also played the role of Detective Tyson in a short film called Until It Hits Home. In 2021, she's appeared on a documentary, Crack, on Netflix. In 2022, she was featured on BET's American Gangster Trap Queens, Season 3, Episode 5. Don't forget to pick up her books. Damn, what a story. She went through a lot, but at least she didn't die or go to jail. Now she knows there's much more to life than the game. Well, I'm going to leave you with this. These hands can help you or they can hurt you. They will steal if led by greed. God can guide our hands towards virtue that lift us up in our time of need. Hands can be used to punish without cause or come together in adorned applause. We've been held back for too long, but with these hands we can hold on. The same hands used to kill our community can also be used to build and bring forth unity. Street Kingpins doesn't condone drug dealing, crime, or violence. This lifestyle usually ends with prison or death. You can love the streets, just remember, the streets don't love you back. Like, subscribe, and comment. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Thanks for watching. Peace.